Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. My name is Anton. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. If you are new around here, please click that subscription button. There is also a bell notification that will then notify you when our shows do go live. Another pre-recorded video for you today. And like we've always said, it's silly season. But Russ did a show yesterday on why we should sign Italian striker Belotti from Torino. And to be honest, I completely agree with everything he said in the matter. So if you haven't already, please go and check out his show on the Italian Superstar. It is a good show. But if one link to an Italian striker isn't enough, I'm going to give you a second one. According to reports, West Ham have made an inquiry for Everton owns, currently on loan, Italian international striker, and he's on loan at Juventus, Moise Kean, ahead of the summer transfer window. Kean is midway through his 2-year loan deal with Juventus, and Juventus have an obligation to buy him from Everton at the end of next season for around about 28 million euros. That equates to about 24 million pounds. However, Juventus are allegedly ready to trigger that obligation 1 year early and sign him permanently this summer. But the twist in the tale is by moving him on again immediately, having decided that he's not part of their future plans. And it seems as though West Ham could be sniffing around the young Italian international striker for the London Stadium in the summer. I'm not going to lie to you though, right? And I know I say that quite a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. That's one of my favorite sayings, apparently. But I actually do think there is a top-notch player in Moise Kean. His attitude worries me, and for that reason, I would be really worried about bringing him to the club. But his talent is phenomenal. He is a top-notch player, international pedigree, top-level player. And his attitude is what brings his value down. And his attitude is what I am concerned about, especially bringing that into the current crop that we've got just now, because it's all about the momentum, the attitudes of the players, the characteristics that Moyes is looking for. And I don't think Moyes Kean offers that. But you can't deny that maybe he needs an arm put around him, and maybe David Moyes is the right guy to do that, because I don't doubt for a second his talent. His talent is phenomenal. I'll go through the stats in a minute, but his talent is very good. He was one of those players that if you watch it, like football from around the world, you would have known who Moise Kean was before Everton signed him, because he was banging in goals. He was doing really well for Juventus when he was in their youth ranks, all the way through to starting in their team. And he is an absolute powerhouse of a striker. However, did struggle at Everton. But again, his quality is undeniable. He's 22 years old and he possesses real pace, and it seems to be kind of tailor-made for the West Ham style of play. You just feel, like I said earlier on, that maybe he needs a hand put around him, someone like David Moyes to put their arm around him. And there is no better manager than David Moyes for doing something like that. Especially for a misfiring striker who's low on confidence. The question remains, though, as to whether his off-the-field problems, which have been in common knowledge and spoken about before, will get in the way. And only time will tell if he does have a future at Juventus, Everton, West Ham, elsewhere. Apparently Arsenal are sniffing around him as well. Kean was arguably fantastic when he was playing for Juventus when he was younger. And that's what prompted Everton to fork out just under £25 million for a transfer fee to sign the youngster off the back of such early promise. But it didn't work out for Kean at Everton. He made his return to Juventus last summer, and the fans rejoiced when he came back, because it was the return of a homegrown player. And after all, he was such a striker's revelation, and he was such a young revelation for Juventus youth team and the first team back in 2019 before he left for Everton. His homecoming didn't go according to plan, though. That's the biggest issue here. And while no one had expected him to replace Ronaldo's tally from previous seasons, everyone thought he would have bagged more goals and assists than he did in the games that he did play for Juventus. Again, I will go through the stats in a second. And the thing is, reports are saying that Kean has shared the same sentiment as Juventus and is willing to leave them this summer. And Juventus are also keen to send the former PSG man, and I'll talk about his PSG career in a minute, back to Everton at the end of the current season for that reason. And they're planning to meet with his new agent, who'll be representing the player after the death of the agent Mino Raiola. Therefore, they could, Juventus, exercise the option to buy him now, earlier than expected, and immediately sell him on to another club. But the reports are suggesting Everton have no interest in renegotiating the 2-year deal with an option to buy, which was agreed between the clubs back in the summer of 2022. So the Italian international was one of the most highly rated young strikers in Europe when he made the move from Juventus to Everton in the summer of 2019. And since then, he did struggle to adapt to life in England, and in particular in Liverpool. He moved to the French champions, PSG, in the summer of 2021, where he had such a good time at the club. But why did he not sign for them? Well, there was a little issue, and that was Lionel Messi. So that's where people maybe put that thing there. But there was, he was well renowned for being a party animal. He had several parties during lockdowns. When players shouldn't have been, he was one of those ones that was kept having the parties. He was being controversial for the people he was inviting to the parties as well. But he has found it hard to showcase his talent since his return to Juventus. I'm going to bring you his stats up here from his, full career. So you've got the 2021 to 22 stats, which is the current season. In the Serie A, he's played 31 times with 5 goals, 3 assists. In the Champions League, of course, he comes with European experience. He's had 6 games with 1 goal, and he's played in the Italy Cup, and he's had 3 games with no goals, and he's played in the Supercoppa Cup with 1 game. And as part of this season, he did actually play 1 Premier League appearance for Everton and 1 League Cup appearance for Everton with no goals in that time. In the 2020-21 season, he was loaned out to PSG, and it was a very successful loan he had. In Ligue 1, he had 26 games with 13 goals. Champions League experience again, 9 games, 3 goals and 1 assist. Coupe de France is 5 goals with 1 goal. The Trophy de Champion, 1 game, no goals. And of course, in that season, before he was loaned out to PSG, he had 2 Premier League appearances for Everton with no goals and 2 League Cup appearances for Everton with 2 goals there as well. Before that, when he came to Everton, 2019-2020 season, he played 29 times for Everton in the Premier League with 2 goals and 2 assists. He played 1 game in the FA Cup with no goals, 3 games in the League Cup for Everton with no goals either. And that's his career stats there from 2014 to present, from the time that he made his senior debut for Juventus, and he made it at such a young age as well. He has played for Juventus 62 times in total over the 2 spells he's had there. He's got 14 goals and 3 assists. PSG, he played 41 games with 17 goals and 1 assist. Everton, 39 games, 4 goals and 2 assists. And he briefly spent a season on loan to Hellas Verona with 20 games and 4 goals to go alongside that. He's also an international. He's represented Italy from the under 12, 13s all the way through to the international full men's first team. And as you can see there, he played 12 times at the international level for Italy with 4 goals. Under 21s, 9 games, 5 goals. Under 20s, 1 game, 2 goals. Under 19s, 6 games and 4 goals. And of course, by playing at the high level that he has done, he has got plenty of honours under his belt already. He's won 3 times the Italian champion with Juventus, 1 Italian Super Cup winner with Juventus, 1 Italian Cup winner with Juventus, 1 French Cup winner with PSG, and 1 French Super Cup winner with PSG. So the man, the geezer, the young lad himself comes with so much bloody experience for such a young age, 22 years old. Now, he is valued, and I've mentioned it, for the obligation to buy. So the thing is, he's not going back to Everton. Juventus were testing that theory to see if he was going to go back there, and he is not going back to Everton. So there's no point in anyone trying to work out if he is going back there. So Juventus have tested the resolve of what Everton were willing to do, and they were like, no, he's not, no interest in that at all. So he's 6 foot, he's 6 foot tall. So he's a big, strong centre forward. Like I said, he's currently valued at 25. I think the deal is an obligation to buy for about 25 million from Juventus because they've got that deal as well. Let me just double check that. Actually, I want to make sure. Yeah, it is it's actually for 24 million pounds. Now, I reckon he's on. I think he's on about 53,000 pounds a week right now. So Moyes bringing him in is an international quality player who's got a lot of experience for such a young age. He ticks that box, the young age. He ticks the international experience, tick. He ticks the playing in European competitions, tick. But the characteristic test is the only one I'm concerned about, and that's maybe why Moyes is not so keen on Moise Kean. Sorry, it's not funny. I'm trying to be funny, but it's not that funny anyway. But what do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Sometimes I feel like you've got to take a bit of a gamble. Sometimes you do. And I feel like if Moyes can get the best out of this young lad, honestly, and I'm not just saying this, and I know we're linked to players left, right, and centre, but you could be sitting on a player that if his attitude is right, because he's only 22, if you can get his attitude right, the world is his oyster. I honestly believe he is that quality level of player. He just couldn't adapt to life in England back when he played with Everton. It's just whether or not he's grown up now and ready to rock and roll if he was to come back to the Premier League. And I actually think the Premier League is a good league for him. I know his stats didn't read well, but I think if we can get the best out of it, of him, then it's maybe an option for West Ham to look at. You know, low value, pay him 60, 70 grand a week, get him in for 25 mil. Still got your budget. You know, you're not exercising too much of that, of the weekly wage. What do? We've done it before. Di Canio, you know, everyone talks about looking for this new bastard. You know, he could be that. It's just his characteristic. It's just his attitude. As long as he's got the right attitude, then I'm happy to bring someone of that quality in. But let's see. The reports are suggesting we're after him. Let's see if it comes to be true. Get your comments in. Let me know your thoughts on Moise Kean potentially joining West Ham. That's the end of the daily. Make sure you join me at 5 p.m. tonight for the Hammers headlines. And make sure, like I said, go and check out all the other previous content we've got coming up. We'll have Matty Holmes coming up next week. So make sure you do join us for that as well. And like I said at the start of the show, if you are new around here, please make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. That will notify you when our shows do go live. And please leave a comment as well. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. And come on, you Irons.
It's like a family tree.